Hi everyone, this is Jane here from Crystal Sparkles Readings. I'm just going to be having a little shuffle now and putting down a few cards for next week for us. So I'm going to have a little shuffle using the black and white Faulkner deck as usual. Let's just have a little see what we've got from the tarot cards. And then I'll put down an oracle card, I think, to go with these. Not quite sure which one yet, but let's see where we go with the tarot first, and then we'll see which oracle deck we're drawn to. So, our first card for next week is the Ten of Pentacles. So, Ten of Pentacles, fabulous card. Talks about being really safe and secure. Now, as you probably know, if you've watched my stuff before and you've kind of been into your tarot and stuff for a while, the Pentacles cards talk about work, business, money, abundance, practical stuff, things in the real world. So they do talk a lot about that kind of, that kind of security that we feel when we know we've got enough money coming in and we've got a nice place to live and we feel safe and we feel secure in that environment. So this is, Ten of Pentacles is kind of like a real high achievement, making a success of it, being safe, being secure, all of that energy. So in terms of a card to talk about what we're feeling and what we're kind of our universal energy is for the beginning of the week, there's a feeling of really being, quite satisfied and secure in where we are and what we are manifesting for ourselves and what we have around us. It's kind of like, the finer things in life, and just really feeling like you've got enough of everything, so you kind of feeling very secure and safe. And it just feels like that when I'm looking at the Ten of Pentacles. It all just feels really like I'm cool with everything at the moment. I'm just kind of sorted. Our real world, our kind of everyday practical stuff, that's what these cards talk about, the Pentacles cards. So quite good start to the week, I would say. Feeling pretty safe, pretty secure. And then we move on to the sort of latter half of the week, and we've got the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is an interesting one. People card wise, this would be a air sign gentleman. So an Aquarius, a Libra, a Gemini, that kind of energy. In terms of a card for the day or a weekly card, it tends not to be very focused on the people aspect of this card. It's more about the energy. So the energy with the King of Swords is intelligent and someone who is using their mind and their intellect to get them through whatever scenario we have going on around us. Excuse me just a second while I just have a drink of my water. So it's that kind of energy, we feel like we have the intelligence, we can make a strategy. So it talks about that. It talks about thinking through, making a plan, making a strategy, using your intelligence and your intellect to do what needs to be done in that particular moment. So the King of Swords is all about that. He's intelligent, he's also quick-witted and moves quite speedily. The swords energy tends, to me anyway, to be quite speedy. Now the swords energy can be also quite sharp, and it can cut things away that don't need to be with us anymore. So they can definitely be used to cut things away and to, maybe just cut down what you need around you or what you don't need around you, really, to thin it out. A bit like when you're going into your garden and you're doing your pruning and you're pruning out all the different things that are in the way so that the actual real flowers can come forth and blossom. So it's about that. It's about, trimming away the stuff you don't need. And really thinking that through and being strategic about that, King of Swords, very intelligent, very strategic in his energy. So I'm going to put down an oracle card to go with these, and I'm going to use the Animal Oracle. That's the one I'm being drawn to at the moment. So this is Colette Baron Reid's Spirit Animals. Okay. I've got one that's jumped out the deck, but it's jumped on the floor. Bear with me for a second and I will grab it. Okay. So just going to reshuffle because there's about 3 or 4 of them that jumped out of that deck then. So we just want the one, please. My guides. Let's just have one of these beautiful Animal Oracle cards to go with what we've got already. Okay, so we've got the ant. So the ant, well, you know what ants are like. They kind of live in these colonies, don't they, where they're all helping each other. You quite often see them all kind of trotting along in a little line and doing what they've got to do. I mean, I've seen nature programs where you've seen ants carrying massive, well, to them, massive great big pieces of leaf that they're carrying along, and they kind of swap it around and they kind of work together. So the ant is talking about teamwork, time to collaborate, time to work with others. So, maybe this is part of your strategy for the week, for the rest of the week, is to kind of be able to work with other people to bring what you want into the world. The ants are always building something. They're working, aren't they? They're making something. So they're trotting along with their little bits and pieces that they're using to make their home and all of that kind of thing. It's interesting because this is Ten of Pentacles, which talks about house, home, security and all the rest of it. Maybe what we need to be embracing is that in order to get to these things, we need to be working together with somebody, working in a team, to be able to build a structured colony or a structured environment for us to be able to feel safe and secure. So lots going on in those cards today. What I would say to you next week from those cards, looks like it's quite work orientated to me. There's not a lot of emotion coming through in those cards. It's very much about practicality. What do I need to think about? What do I need to strategize about? How can I use my intelligence and intellect to be able to work through the week, to be able to achieve the things that I want to achieve and create the things that I want to create. So there's not a lot of emotion here. It's more about practicality. When I look at ants, ant energy feels very practical to me. I'm building something, I'm working with my other ants to build this colony, to build this home, to build this environment. So it looks to me as if what we're doing is building something of a practical nature next week. So I will leave that with you for the time being. And I'll be back later on in the week. I've got an unboxing to do. I've got some candles to look at. So I'll be back a bit later in the week to put up a couple more videos, hopefully. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. That would be lovely. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I've got lots and lots of new stuff coming up. I have got some tarot lessons that I'm working on. So they'll be going up in the not too distant future as well. Thank you ever so much for watching. Bye for now.